Welcome to our weekly Forex forecast, and this is for trading for the week of January 25th to 29th, 2021. All right, so next one, sorry, before we get started here, this is just a quick disclaimer here. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. As usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our calendar here. All right, so in terms of overall what's going on, we have seen over last week here, we saw President Biden take power now. And with the change in leadership here, there has been a slight shift as well in terms of the stimulus package. Democrats have proposed a big $1.9 trillion package. So we should be hearing more about that this upcoming week, and whether the package will stay at that $1.9 trillion or will it be lower than that. So watch out for comments from senators on that, because that will make a difference in terms of how they vote on the package. Other than that, let's go into what's going on with the coronavirus. The vaccination is another thing that is the focus of the new administration. So any increase in the delivery of or rollout of the vaccination will be a positive thing. All right, so in terms of what's coming up this week, we have ECB here a couple of times. ECB President Lagarde, she'll be speaking. And then, so here at this point, not really expecting any kind of changes from ECB. Looks like everybody's holding on to their current position. Everybody's waiting to see what happens. So in Europe, the lockdown is quite tight. So different countries, as we have seen, are taking different approaches. So there is a concern in regards to the new variant, and in Canada here as well. So, or at least where we are currently in lockdown, and there's a lot of stuff we're not able to do. So lockdowns are still around, but the markets are looking past the current situation with the economy and are focusing on the future after the vaccination and when everything opens up. So any kind of comments in regards to problems with the economy will have a negative impact on the euro. But right now, everybody's looking past it. So I wouldn't expect huge waves in terms of that. Coming up on Tuesday, we have Bank of Japan. We have monetary policy meeting minutes. Again, not expecting anything to change there. We do have earnings here, employment numbers out of UK. Now, these employment numbers, even though they're not marked in red, they are important. They will have an impact on the pound. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Anything that is positive, if they come in line with expectations, then I wouldn't really expect much of a change. If they are substantially better or substantially worse, that's when we are likely to see an impact of that. So any sort of numbers that are coming in right now, everything is sort of going or looked at through the glasses of the COVID. And as a result of that, the numbers are not as meaningful. But the positive numbers, if they're higher than expected, that will have a positive impact, and we are likely to see the pound go up. With the negative numbers, they won't have much of an impact unless they're substantially negative. Okay, other than that, we have CPI numbers here for the quarter. For Australia, the CPI numbers that came in for New Zealand last week, it was they pushed New Zealand dollar higher. So if you have a similar scenario where CPI numbers come in better than expected, that would be good for Australian dollar. Big one here for this week will be the Fed, FOMC here. At this point, what I'm expecting here would be more in terms of change in the number of, no change in terms of what they're saying. One thing that was basically a question was, will they start tapering the purchases? Doesn't look like they are going to taper any sort of purchases. So I'm expecting it to basically stay the same. So continual support for the markets from the Fed. GDP here for US, we will see GDP numbers for the quarter on Thursday. Again, at this point, everything is being driven by stimulus talks and other positive things that are in the market. So GDP numbers will have an impact, but not that much unless they're, like I said, substantially different. I'm not really expecting a huge impact from that. And then going into Friday here, we do have consumer confidence numbers out of Japan. We have some employment numbers, but nothing critical. Consumer sentiment numbers out of the US here as well, that should have an impact. But again, looks like everything is holding stable. So things should not change drastically from that perspective, but any type of stimulus talks will have an impact. So if let's say we see a lot of opposition to the 1.9 trillion stimulus package, that will have a negative impact on the markets. All right, let's go on to the charts now. We'll start off with euro dollar. So euro has been pulling back. So we are back into the support level here. As we can see, price did bounce off of this level. So we have a bullish close here. Next target would be into a 1.2270. So looking for a follow through for euro dollar here. So with a lot of money that is being spent in the US, it is actually negative for the US dollar because the oversupply of currency, it's all about supply and demand. We are seeing a lot of money injected with the stimulus package and the Fed policy that is negative for the currency, but it is positive for the stock market, and that's what we are seeing. As a result of that, we are likely to see other currencies go up against the US dollar. So with this one here, this is what I'm looking at. We are likely to see a bit of, bit of a pullback, and then a further move to the upside here. First target is a 1.2270. Beyond that, we have 1.2350 will be the next target. But first over here, 1.2270. So bullish bias here for euro dollar. Pound dollar here, this one has also gone up. It tried to break through the resistance, but it's still into the resistance. So we have to be a bit careful here. But all in all, it is still a bullish move, still looking positive. So looking for a further move higher, we may get a bit of a pullback again into this previous level here, and then a further move to the upside. So bias here is bullish, and target is 1.3785 and 1.3850. So bullish bias for pound dollar as well. Aussie dollar here, this one is looking more neutral here. As we can see, last 3 weeks price has been stuck in this range. It is still stuck in the range. It couldn't go through the support level here. This week's candle is completely neutral, so market is waiting for direction here. So right now, neutral bias, we'll have to watch this on the daily, and I would look at basically price going sideways here between the support and resistance, bottom and top of the range, 7820 on the higher side and 0.7650 on the lower side. And once we see the price break out of the range, we'll wait for direction, and then we'll follow along in that direction. But right now, bias is completely neutral here for Aussie dollar. New Zealand dollar, this one did bounce off of the support level here. This one is still in a range as well. It's moving towards the top of the range, but doesn't seem to have a solid direction yet. So what I'm looking for is a retest of the high at 0.7235, or I should say top of these candles here. If it doesn't go through, we're looking for a drop back down. So neutral bias for this one as well, but should it get through it, then we will target the 0.7300, but that will not be the target just yet. First target here is 0.7235, and then we will wait for direction on this one here as well. So neutral to bullish bias here for New Zealand dollar. Dollar CAD here, this one as well, as we can see, completely neutral here. It did try to go through the support, didn't manage to get through. So for the last 3 weeks, this one has been more on the neutral side here. Excuse me. So for this one, I would look at a retest here again of 1.2800. If it fails, then we're looking for a move lower. But watch out for a bigger pullback into 1.2880. So right now bias is neutral for this, and again we'll monitor this. All the commodity currencies here are looking neutral, so we'll have to watch them on the daily. Euro pound here, this one, as we can see, price went right into the support here. This is an important support resistance level, and it did bounce off. So at this point, looking for a retest of the high of this week's candle at 0.8920. Now we are into resistance here, and if it doesn't go through, we will look for a continuation of this downward move. So neutral bias for the time being, and looking for a move within this range of the weekly candle. And then, like I said, we will look at how price reacts at 0.8920. If it holds below, then looking for that downward move. So neutral bias for euro pound as well. Euro Swiss franc here, we are still in this range. It's right at the bottom of the range, and this is where we can see a reversal. So watch out for this. At this point, I am neutral on this. Price has not quite gone through the support yet. So once it gets through the support, then we'll target the following support level. But for now, this one, I'm looking for a move back into the range. I'm looking for a retest of the low here at 1.0740, and if it holds, looking for that move back into the range. So neutral bias for this one as well. Okay, pound Swiss franc here. Pound Swiss franc looking neutral here as well. Completely neutral candle close here for this week. It's right into this resistance, and for the last several times, it has not been able to make it through. So this time as well, looking for a move back into the range. So neutral to bearish bias here. Target would be 1.1935. Dollar Swiss franc here, this one is also range bound. As we can see, price has been staying in this range for several weeks now. So we do have a bearish candle close, but again, it's a range bound move. So we could see price go into 0.8820 and then bounce off of that. So watch out for that. And then if it goes through, next target would be 0.8790. But prior to that, it may just either bounce here or it may bounce back here. So right now, bias is neutral to bearish for dollar Swiss franc. Pound yen, this one has been pushing higher. Now it hasn't quite closed beyond last week's high. So this is where we have to be careful. So bias for the time being still that has that bullish bias here. So looking for a further move to the upside, but watch out for the resistance because it could turn around here. But again, like I said, we'll watch that on the daily. But right now, bullish bias 142.65 is the first target, and then we are back into this previous support resistance level at 143.80. So bullish bias here for pound yen. Euro yen here, this one as well bounced off of this previous support resistance level, looking bullish. So looking for a move back into the range here towards the top of the range. 127.10 is the target. So euro yen also looking bullish. Dollar yen still trading in a range. As we can see, price has been going back and forth here. Oops. So last week was neutral. This or I should last 2 weeks was neutral. So this week I'm looking for a retest lower here and then bounce back up. So basically still looking for a range bound move, does not seem to have a clear direction at this point. And the move between 104.35 and 103.20. Those will be the two levels to watch for dollar yen. Neutral bias for now. Aussie yen, this one hasn't done much either. Price did pull back a bit, but hasn't really gone anywhere. It ended the move where it started. So neutral bias here. It doesn't quite look bearish, completely bearish at this point. Doesn't have the downward momentum that we are looking for in terms of move lower. So right now, again, neutral here. Australian dollar overall, all the commodity currencies are looking neutral. And here, basically looking for a retest of the support. If it holds, then we're looking for that move higher for the next leg higher. But what can happen here is a deeper pullback right into 78.50 and then further move higher. So that those are the two levels to watch. Right now, bias is neutral for Aussie yen. New Zealand yen, this one held above the support level here. So we have a bullish candle close. So looking for price to come back and test the high once again. Target here would be 75.50. And this is where we may see a range bound move again, but it is holding above the support level. So it has overall bullishness that is still intact, but we'll have to see can it go through the resistance. For now though, bias is bullish within the range. So target is 75.50. CAD yen here, this one is completely neutral as well, just like we saw for Australian dollar here. This is the range the price has been trading in overall over the last several weeks. So right now, looking neutral, doesn't seem to have a clear direction. So we'll have to watch this one as well. Bias is neutral. If it goes through the support, next target would be 80.50. But overall, we are neutral on this one as well. All right, so let's take a look at our commodities now. Gold here, gold came into the support, bounced off, but over the last 2 weeks here, it hasn't really done much. It's just gone back and forth. So it's just more of the churn. So neutral bias here as well. Now it does have some bullishness. So we may see a move higher towards 26.75. So neutral to bullish bias here for silver. Gold here also bounced off of the support level back right from this support level here. Same thing as silver. It hasn't really done a whole lot. It's just been going back and forth. So overall though, again, this one has slight bullishness. So next target here is 1906. So neutral to bullish bias for both of these. What we need to watch is the reaction here at 1874. So the reaction at the top of the weekly candle. So if it doesn't go through, we could see a move lower. So that's the only thing to watch out for. But for now, neutral to bullish bias, first target 1875 and then 1906. Oil here, oil not looking that great. Prices into resistance. For last 2 weeks, it tested the high, couldn't make it through. So now we may see a drop back down towards the support level here into 49.20. So bias here is neutral to bearish and target is 49.20. Copper here, copper is looking neutral here. And at this point, I will look for a retest of 3.50. Overall, it's still trading in that a bit of a range here. So potential retest of 3.46. So neutral bias for copper as well. A lot of these are just kind of waiting in a wait and see mode. All right, Bitcoin here. Thanks, Salvatore. Bitcoin is at 31.8. So 31,800. So it has bounced off of this level. So looking at the daily here, as we can see, price came into that support level. We were watching at 28,800, bounced off. So now looking for that move higher. However, the problem is going to be right into this 35,000 level and then also at this 34,000 level. So if it doesn't go through, we could see it become range bound here. This is my chart is not updated here because the broker is closed on the weekend. So it will get updated on Monday. So we'll look at it closely on Monday. But right now, basically looking for a sideways move here. Price did drop, and now we may be seeing another move higher. So we'll keep an eye on it. I think we may see still it may get stuck in this range, overall range. So we'll keep an eye on it. So right now, neutral to slightly bullish bias here for Bitcoin. S&P 500, as we can see, price held and now going to new heights here. So looking bullish maintaining that bullish bias. Next target is 3,900. So S&P 500, especially with that stimulus package, if it does get passed, that is bullish here. So if you don't see too much negative talk about the stimulus package, we should see the stock markets go higher. S&P 500, so 3,900 is 39 or 3920 will be the next target. Nasdaq here also looking bullish, big break to the upside. So bias is bullish here. And next target here, we are looking at 13,500 and then 13,700. So bullish bias for Nasdaq as well. Dow Jones is still holding here. We did see this move higher, but it hasn't managed to break through this resistance. So this is a solid resistance. For 3 weeks, price hasn't been able to break it. So I will look for a retest of the high again at 31,250. If it doesn't break though, then we're looking for that drop back. So this is again another one to keep an eye on over the daily. But right now, bias is neutral to bullish here, but we'll have to watch out for that resistance. DAX here, this one also holding a slight bullish bias here. However, it failed to break through the resistance. So now I'm looking for a retest of this same level again at 14,000. If it doesn't, we are back again. So neutral bias here, or neutral to slightly bullish bias for DAX. FTSE as well, this one dropping a little bit, doesn't seem to have the same level of momentum that it did last week. Now, I will look for a retest of, again, 6640. If it fails, again, another move higher then. So this is just this candle that is being filled, and chances are we may get stuck here at 6640. If that's the case, we're looking for a further move higher. For now, neutral bias here for FTSE. Last one here, Nikkei here. Nikkei also going sideways here, hasn't really managed to do much. We did see a bit of a move higher. So bias is neutral, neutral to bullish here, but it hasn't gone through the resistance yet. So it needs to break the previous week's high for it to maintain that bullish bias. So for the time being, neutral to bullish bias here for Nikkei as well. All right, so that's it for today. And there was a question I had asked for suggestions on videos. So Salvatore, video request on scaling in and out of the position. Okay, I will make a note of that, and I will, yeah, just give me a little bit of time here, and I will get a video out. And you guys, if you have any other requests on any type of videos you want me to create, please feel free to let me know, because I am looking for ideas on what topics to create videos on. All right, so you guys have a wonderful trading week. I will be back with a daily analysis, so hopefully I will see you, or you'll see my video on Monday. Okay, have a wonderful week, and I'll see you again. Bye for now.